Hey guys, welcome to Next Gen Tech. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check the description box below for deals and discounts.
Today we're going to be doing a screen replacement on an iPad Pro, first gen 11-inch. We're going to start with our iSesamo tool and a little bit of alcohol. Normally we would want to try to be as careful as we can around here so we could save this LCD and refurbish it. But this one here is completely destroyed, so we can actually use alcohol and not have to worry about trying to save the LCD. I'm going to put a cord in here. Gotta keep that portion from going back down. You have to be very careful down this top side because that's where all your sensors and camera is. All right, now that we've got it opened up, you can see that it's very hard to work on. There's only so far you can open this thing. So I'm gonna have to get in here and get these two. Phillips screws out, but I can't actually put my screwdriver in there. So I'm gonna have to use a small tip. We're gonna attempt to unhook these connectors here. We can't disconnect the battery first on this model. So you just have to make 100% sure it's powered off. Take a non-spudger and we just unplug it. Okay, so now we can actually raise it up to where we can get to everything else. All right, so now that we've got the screen lifted up, we're going to remove these 3 screws. All right, so now we want to disconnect the battery. Let's remove this screw right here. All right, so we've slid a cord underneath our battery connector that disconnects all the power. And now we're going to disconnect these 4 cables with a nylon spudger. And we have our screen loose. One of the next things we're going to have to do is take this cable here at the top off. It has all these different sensors and things on it. That's got to be transferred over to the new screen. There's also 2 magnets here. Those have to be transferred over. We'll get to that in a minute. First we're going to clean the frame. All right, so now we're going to go around the entire frame and we're just going to clean it really well. We're going to use an X-Acto knife with a razor blade, and just going to put my little metal tool down to where if I happen to slip, I don't hit anything. And we just use alcohol and our X-Acto knife and a cleaning cloth, and this does take a few minutes to do. We also have another antenna right here. We got to be very careful in that area. All right, now that we've got the frame cleaned, we're going to set it aside, and we're going to work on transferring the components from the old screen to the new screen. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to transfer a couple components from the old screen to the new screen. We're going to start by taking this screw out of this bracket here. All right, now that we've used a little bit of alcohol and got this cable up, we're just going to remove this other screw and remove this plate. All right, so now we're just going to use our nylon spudger and disconnect these two cables, remembering which order they went into. So this one goes on top. Right, so this one's on the bottom. We're just going to transfer it straight over here to our new screen. And plug the first one in. The second one goes over top of it. All right, we got that part taken care of. The next thing we're going to try to do is get this cable here with all these sensors on it. We're going to take it off and move it over to the new screen. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this top cable. We're going to have to put it back on our heat mat and let it warm up for about 4 or 5 minutes. We'll just use a little drop of alcohol around these sensors. All right, so we now have the cable loose. We've just got a couple of light sensors here, proximity sensor, and a microphone. All right, so now we're going to put this transfer this cable over to the new screen. All right, now we've got our cable transferred over. We now have 2 magnets that we've got to transfer over. This one here and this one here. All right, now that we've got everything transferred over, we're going to plug it into our iPad and see if everything works. We'll start with the bottom cable first. All right, now that we got those connectors plugged in, we will have to put the battery screw back in next. Put this connector back on. All right, so we're just going to gently lay it down. We're going to turn it on and see if it works. I'm just going to test a few keys here, make sure it works. Looks like it's going to work just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and power it back off. So I'm going to go around it and remove all the strips that cover the adhesive. All right, now that we've got the adhesive ready to stick down, just gonna line it up real good. All right, so now all we're gonna do is we're just gonna put it back on the heat mat for about 4 or 5 minutes, get it warm. Just put some clamps around the edge. We're gonna let it sit overnight. It'll be ready for the customer to pick up.